So last week I stumbled across a headline that said Toronto condo prices rise over 8% even as new listings surge. And in the article, they quoted Toronto Regional Real Estate Board's chief market analyst, Jason Mercer, who said that there was still enough competition between buyers to support average selling prices substantially above last year's levels. Now, while this is technically correct, the one problem with it is that it's a little bit misleading because it gives one the impression that condo prices are actually trending up when in fact average selling prices have been trending down for the last 7 months. So how can average prices year over year be up but still be trending down over the past 7 months? We're going to look at that question in today's video. My name is John Passalis, president at Realosophy Realty. You can catch all my latest writings and research on Toronto's housing market on movesmartly.com. If you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button. So when we look at sort of changes in average prices, we typically look at average price changes on a year-over-year basis. So if we're looking at October 2020, we're going to compare that to October 29 to see how prices have changed. We typically don't compare average prices month over month because there are seasonal differences between the types of homes and the price ranges from one month to the next. Sometimes that can skew our results. So that's why typically we look at house price changes year over year. But we can't stick to this rule because it could lead us to miss important underlying trends, as we're going to see today. So in this next chart, what I'm going to be looking at is the average price of downtown condos. That's the downtown core south of Bloor. And I'm going to be looking at it on a quarterly basis, starting with the first quarter of 2019. So when we do that, we see that for the first 3 quarters of 2019, condo prices were pretty stable. Then over the next 2 quarters, prices surged 15% or about $100,000. So in the first quarter of 2020, average condo prices downtown hit about $820,000, which is really a record high and peak. And now we can see that since then, average condo prices have been trending down. And in the third quarter of 2020, average condo prices were down about 9% from their peak, just under $750,000. So again, why does this matter? Well, when we compare average condo prices year over year, which is kind of what a lot of the headlines tends to do, we'll see that average condo prices are still up over the third quarter of 2019. They're up about 4%. But I think this sort of masks sort of the underlying trend that we're seeing in the market, which is we're seeing a cooling in condo prices. So again, if we're just looking at year over year changes, we're missing these trends. And this trend's a particularly important one because we don't typically see a rapid decline in average prices from the first quarter to the third quarter. Again, if this was historically very typical, we wouldn't be focusing on it today, but it's not. So there's something else that's going on in the market that's leading to this decline in average prices. And again, the other thing to keep in mind is that even if average condo prices stay flat for the next 6 months, in the first quarter of 2021 is when the media will start talking about this year over year decline in prices, because at that point, we're going to be comparing today's lower prices in the 750 range to the peak of 820 in the first quarter. But that, of course, will have been old news. I mean, the decline will have happened already, and that would have been old news in the media. So it's important to kind of take a look at these latest trends. And in the next 6 months, the key thing we're going to be looking at is how house prices or condo prices in downtown core are going to evolve from this level. Are they going to stay relatively stable, or are we going to see downward pressure on condo prices in the core? And if so, what segments of the market? Not all buildings, not all units are performing equally. Some are a little bit more impacted than others. But again, it's looking at these very micro trends that kind of give us more insights when we're trying to make informed decisions, real estate decisions, when it comes to buying or selling condominiums in Toronto's market right now. If you have any questions, please post your comments below or send me an email at askjohn@movesmartly.com.